everybody, and welcome to another episode of the SVR Podcast. First of all, how's everybody doing, man? I hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy, and be sure to be okay with yourselves within the mental health standpoint. Secondly, if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn notification on, and hit that like button for some more new content. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, as y'all know in the community post, I brought up my co-host, Jelani Moonah.
Yes, it's me, Jelani Moonah.
For the first time ever, me and the co-host will join this journey. With each individual podcast episode, with interviewing people, no matter who it is, musician, comedian, anyone is welcome aboard to the podcast,
Yes, and especially today, we got a special guest. His name is Gavi Music.
What up, Gavi? Welcome to the podcast. How you doing, man?
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing really, really good, man.
Yes.
So, Gavi, here's what we're gonna do here. The format is pretty different, similar to what I did when I was a solo, doing all the interviewing people all by myself. I didn't have co-hosts. Obviously, I'll be asking you a question. Jelani will ask you the question about your life in general as a musician and how been working on and on and on, and what music is like to you, basically. So, without any further ado, Gavi, are you ready?
Absolutely.
All right, man. Let me ask you the first question, man. So let's talk about, your humble beginnings as a musician. What sparked your interest in making music? Like, what made you decide to, cope with this idea of, make it as a hobby, like full-time job?
So I remember I was in third grade, and I was sitting there in class with a kid, and he was just singing, and I think it was the time that Stereo Hearts by Adam Levine came out and Gym Class Heroes. And he was singing, I think it was Stereo Hearts, or maybe it was Bad Romance, possibly, Lady Gaga. And he was singing it in class, and everyone was like, shut up. And I was like, oh, I kind of like the way that this dude sounds. I love the concept of singing, but I couldn't sing for anything. And the teacher ended up kicking him out of the classroom because he wouldn't stop singing. And so what did I do? I said, can I use the bathroom? And so I left the room, and I started singing with him in the hallway. And he was like, Gavi, you're trash. And I was like, okay. And then so I went up to the library, and I took out this picture book on the anatomy of the voice and how the just like larynx works with breath control and all these different things. And I thought it was so fascinating that I taught myself how to do some vocal impressions. And I loved the Muppets. And so I taught myself how to speak like Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy and all these different characters. And from there, I fell in love with just the voice and how it works. And then I found out about Michael Jackson, who I remember the first time that I heard Billie Jean. I was at a friend's house, and he played Billie Jean. And I just thought this dude's voice was the coolest thing ever. So my new goal was to learn how to sing like Michael Jackson. And so I trained my voice to kind of sound like his. And then it was when I was in ninth grade. My dad had an unfortunate accident, and it put me in a spot that I had to either have some serious mental health issues, or I could write some songs and try to get it out that way. And so I chose to learn how to write songs. And my parents, I was lucky enough to get a keyboard the year before in December. Actually, no, that's not true. I actually didn't have a keyboard yet. I got a keyboard like a year or two later. And that's when my songwriting career really flourished. And rumor has it I spent the entire night writing like 10 songs. It's actually this keyboard I have right in front of me right now. And from there, I kind of just knew this was the only thing that I wanted to do in life,
So, what is your favorite Michael Jackson song?
My favorite Michael Jackson song is a song off the Dangerous album called Keep the Faith. I remember the first time I heard it, I was just blown away. It was mesmerizing. I was like, oh my gosh, music can both be uplifting lyrically, melodically. It was like the whole entire song came together. And I actually have Keep the Faith written on my ceiling here. You can't see it because it's in like stars. When the lights go out, it glows up. And that's like my mantra in life. Yeah.
That's cool.
Really cool to have the sort of inspirations that got through your head when it comes to these musicians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jelani, it's your turn.
Yeah. So when did you what was your first song? What was your first ever song that you ever released?
So the first song that I ever released, that's like a trick question. First, before I answer that, I should ask you guys what your favorite Michael Jackson song is, because I didn't get to reverse the question on you guys.
Well, I mean, I do like Thriller.
I like Billie Jean.
Okay. Good to know. Both great songs, and with the King of Pop, there's no wrong choices. So the first song that I ever released was a song called Blind, and I wrote it about a kid in school that was not being super nice, and I thought it was for a certain reason, and the whole point was that if we could all act like we couldn't see each other, then we'd have a lot easier of a time getting along. And I released that, but then I took that down along with 4 other songs that I released. I made like an album when I was in 11th or 12th grade that I ended up cutting because I didn't think it was good enough when it came to releasing it. And then I released a song called Open Eyes, which is about a year and a half, 2 years old. And that was the first song I released in my new, artist releasing music era.
Which is one of my favorite songs you ever made. And I even had an open verse entry there.
Yeah, thank you. I love that song. I wrote it. I was sitting on, you guys can't see this, but there's a hammock chair right behind the phone that I have placed up here. And I wrote it there because I was on the phone with my friend, and he was pretty much talking to me about we were talking about the extent of human change. Obviously, we're born with certain tendencies and characteristics. And he was like, how much can a person actually change? You can see that you don't like certain tendencies of yours, and you can see that you want to change it. But are you always, going to go back to how you were born, or how much can you actually, move that chain? And so we had this conversation, and I was talking about how at that time, and for a long time before that, I would actually keep myself awake because I was so scared of having nightmares. Every time I'd have a nightmare, I'd wake myself up. I don't know if you ever heard about something like this, but I would just get these terrible nightmares. And so I convinced myself that it was better to not sleep than to sleep and get nightmares. And so that's what I did. And I was talking to my friend, and I was like, no matter how much I convince myself that I need sleep, I still can't do it because subconsciously I'm always going to be thinking about these nightmares. And so the song Open Eyes ended up just all coming together because I was like, well, would you ever want to fall asleep if all you had were bad dreams? And I said to him, because then you're destined to find some way, because your body's not going to function with zero sleep. And so you're going to find some way to fall asleep. And it ended up becoming this whole kind of metaphor for life. If all you ever had were bad days, would you ever want to stay awake? And that's how the song was born.
Oh, if you don't mind me, if you don't mind me asking, like, what type of nightmares would you get? Like, what could you remember? Do you remember the nightmares that you constantly get?
Yeah, of course. There was everything from the classic nightmares of falling down without a ground there to dear people in my life passing away, and I'd end up at their funeral, and I'd hear them talking about me. There was a lot of really weird dreams also, just like, where did that come from? And, stuff like that.
Let's move forward to the third question. A lot of people have their own taste of opinions about their favorite instrumentation. From what I've seen on your TikTok, you was playing with a guitar. So is this like your favorite instrument you're playing?
No, guitar is not my favorite instrument. Piano is my favorite instrument. I wish I knew how to play violin well because that is really I love strings, but yeah, piano just the sound when you hear it, just like whoops. When you hear it, it's like you know that you know it's coming. You know, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So what specifically, like just the sound of it, or
The
just
richness of it, really, it's the richness of the piano is unmatched by any instrument. The guitar is very it can be beautiful. It can evoke a lot of different emotions, but the piano is just so full, and you have bass and treble all coming together at once to form this like it touches the soul, really. You know,
Understandable. Very understandable. It's your turn now, Jelani, for the fourth question.
all right. Now, what I wonder though is, but is there any other like instruments that you like other than the piano? Like,
absolutely. I love strings. Like I said, I love the cello, love the violin. I also love the guitar and the ukulele. There are some incredible instruments. I've always wanted to learn a brass instrument, like the trumpet. I know the saxophone is technically a wind instrument, but I've always wanted to learn the sax. I'm not that crazy about flutes and other wind instruments. They're not my thing, you know. But I personally, I mean, drums is phenomenal. I love all instruments. Music is the language of the soul, and if you are missing different words within a language, it's not as effective. So it's the same with music. Obviously, some aspects of English are going to be better than others, but you need all of them in order to work. Verbs, adjectives, I don't even know what I was looking for.
Pronunciation.
No, that wasn't the word I was looking for, but that's okay. Whatever. Pronouns, all that stuff, you know.
That's fine, yeah.
it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Moving forward to the fifth question. So you mentioned something about Nightmare previously. What challenges have you faced as a musician, and how have you managed to overcome them? Like, is there any like coincidence, like a disorder or something like you have going on your mind?
The word was preposition before, just for anyone that cares. Um, the I've had many challenges as a musician, and if you tell me that you haven't had any challenges as a musician, then you're probably not going to make it. You're probably you probably haven't been doing all you can to make it. There are so many things that you haven't been doing. Things I'm comfortable sharing, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, there's been many contractual problems. There's been many. They don't really tell me no because everyone really they tend to like the music, but they end up trying to mess you over in a lot of ways. But they say Hollywood is a scary place. It's dangerous. It absolutely is. But some of your heroes can be nice. Depends on the person. And I'd like to think that every single obstacle that's placed in front of me has kind of just propelled me towards a new height. I obviously, like you mentioned, disorders. I have ADHD, pretty serious ADHD. I've lived my whole life with seasonal affective disorder, which is the title of my first album. And yeah.
So, like, if there was a music label that wanted to sign with you, would you jump on that, or would you like to stay independent?
There's definitely pros and cons to both. And I'd love to hear every music label out when it comes to contracts. But at the same time, I am doing my best as an independent artist. I'm happy with whatever life throws at me. I'm never going to say, I don't want to hear you to anybody. You know, I want to hear everyone.
That's fair. Honestly. Jelani, it's your turn.
All right. So, also, just want to know though, but like, what labels would you want to sign with? Like, what labels would you want to sign with?
I mean, the big three, Universal, Sony, Warner, they're all amazing. They all have amazing labels underneath them. I would be blessed to have meetings with any of them. And if we're being totally honest, I think they'd be blessed to have a meeting with me also, but it takes two to tango, you know?
Okay. All right.
It takes a toll.
Yeah.
Especially. Second question. Now, Do you find that music has been a terrific outlet for you personally, as in the therapy, how you cope, like you said about previously, the whole idea of like music is our soul.
Absolutely. I think that music has been super cathartic and therapeutic, and it's a great way to empathize with people. It's a great way to understand where people are coming from because you can have the same song mean 18 different things to 18 different people. And it's truly beautiful in that way that we can all be like, I totally resonated with this song and bond with another person and then come to the conclusion that you had totally resonated for a different reason. But that's, definitely therapeutic. It's definitely uh, soul touching. There's a lot of really cool aspects to music.
Yeah. One thing is though, like, what is your most emotional song that you've ever made? Like, what is your most emotional one?
The one that's released right now, or one that is unreleased that's maybe coming out.
Well, name both. Name both.
Out of the ones that I have released right now, I'd say the most emotional is one called "Love Dies." Um, I love that song. I really think that a lot of the songs I have out right now are super emotional. The song I wrote called "Count Me Out" is very, very deeply personal. But the song that I have that is probably the most personal that I've ever written that's coming out on my next album is there's a few of them. There's I don't know, there's one called trying to think of like there's a song called Words Don't Heal, which is crazy. One called Can't Stand New York City, which is just so gut wrenching. Another one called Everybody But You and Me, which is just incredibly personal. And then I think the most personal is called Goodwill Hunting. It's very, very deeply personal. And I just got the first wave of production back on that, and I am super excited.
Mm. Jelani, turn.
All right. Well, so like, do you get how many monthly listeners do you get on like a monthly basis?
Is that just Spotify or everything?
Well, you could list everything.
So the most monthly listeners I've had on Spotify, I think right now is like 14,000. Um, the most like accumulated is probably around 20,000. I don't know. Yeah, I've gotten if you include like social media content, like hundreds of thousands. But
I know on TikTok you get most praise there.
I definitely have my biggest following on TikTok right now.
Yeah, man. A lot of TikTok musicians, the famous ones, you get praised by when he was entering all these open verses.
It's true. I'm blessed to have heard from a lot of really famous artists.
Yeah, Stacey Ryan, Scott from the Pentatonics.
Yeah, Scott actually follows me, which is really cool.
I feel you. Yep. Moving forward to the ninth question. So you stay independent, but have you ever thought about going on a tour one day to perform your music live in various cities like, New York, Tennessee, anywhere?
You want to organize it? You're welcome to.
Yeah.
But like, what would be like the best like place to tour? Like, what would be like the best place that you would want to go to?
I would love to tour Asia, Europe. I'd love to tour all these different continents that are just so far out of my reach right now. But one day, it'd be really cool to go to South America,
Maybe you could try and do like a tour in Romania. Maybe SVR can enjoy it.
SVR, do you live in Romania?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I mean, I don't think I told you in DMs.
That's so interesting. How do you know English?
I got taught in middle school.
Got you.
And internet, all by myself.
How's your Romanian?
Oh, it's relaxing. The nature is amazing.
Yeah, you don't live in like the capital?
Yeah, no, I'm living in like near the capital.
Have you always lived here?
In the capital?
No, have you always lived in Romania?
Yeah, Born in Romania. Oh,
Have you ever been to America?
no.
Is that on the bucket list?
Yeah.
Hey, you should get over here.
Yeah. Pay a visit there. Only for a week.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I also want to know, for musicians, like, what is the best place to like spread your music? Like, what would be the best platform to be on if you want to share your music out there?
Definitely right now it's somewhere between TikTok and Instagram. Um, it really depends. I'd like to tell you that talking to people in public and like word of mouth is really important, but it's just social media is so much more important.
It's the only way to get out of there, get some exposure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you're putting your hands in the arms of the algorithm, but you know, it is what it is.
It takes a lot of time.
It absolutely does. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
It really does. That was wait, so is Jelani has asked you the 10th question?
Well, I could ask an additional question.
Yeah.
And that is like, would you ever plan on selling like physical media? Like, I know like a lot of artists, they like to sell like vinyl, like a lot of vinyl, a lot of discs, you know, like CDs. Would you ever plan on doing that?
The same way that SVR is going to plan a tour for me, you can make some digital media, and I'm down to sell it. I don't care. I just remember I am one person, and I am doing the job of 1,000 people. And being an independent artist is not easy. And for anyone that's watching that is thinking about it, just know that it's not like a cop out job. It's for real, and you have to be ready to work really, really hard. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah. Well, that was it, folks. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say our outro. Gavi, if you have anything to say, would you be able to do so?
Absolutely. If anyone is listening to music on any of your streaming services, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, Amazon Music, anything like that, I just released a song today called Heartbreak Nostalgia. It's a really good song. You guys should all check it out. Coming on January 10th, I believe, my full-length first album, Seasonal Affective Disorder, will be out. And stay tuned for the second album announcement. There's a lot of big stuff coming, and just be prepared.
Jelani?
Reach the top.
That's all. And
Yes, sir.
yeah. Thank you guys for watching this podcast, y'all. Like I said, if you guys haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on, and hit that like button for some more new content. Check out Gavi's music. Definitely worth checking it out. Links will be social media, including Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube. Will be in the link in the description below. He deserves it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So, yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode of the SVR Podcast. And we are out. Peace out, later, and goodbye.
Peace.